Hey, everybody's Tattooed Wrestling Fan here. Just wanted to talk about Raw last night. Obviously, well, now 5 days away. WrestleMania 31. That should be quite exciting. I'm going to start off with, the segment that opened up the show, the Sting segment, where he came out. He didn't speak a whole lot, but I think there's an element to him that that younger generations don't understand, is that he's straight up a Venice Beach, California boy, At 55 years, the man still moves like he did back in WCW in his prime. I mean, from what I've seen so far, we'll go to see if he can hold up a 25-minute match with Triple H. But as far as I can tell, Sting is still in tip-top shape. Looks good. But I think that there was, because when they saw him come out in the black and white setup and the face paint and everything, they kind of thought he was going to be this dark character, kind of like the Undertaker, a Bray Wyatt or something. And they had no idea that at one point he wore neon face paint, and he's just a straight up California boy, And then he started talking, and I noticed, I don't know if it's by coincidence or if it's on purpose, but I noticed that when he would go, like that to the crowd, do his scream, the camera would go away from it. It would pull away from it. I don't know if it was just coincidence or what. I don't know what's going on. But another thing that I really appreciate about Sting and the fans is he gets one of the loudest pops. And I was afraid that Triple H, it would be more of a Scott Steiner thing from the Royal Rumble back, I couldn't tell you the year. I'm going to say 2002, maybe 2003, where it was Scott Steiner versus Triple H, and the crowd initially gave Scott Steiner a pump, big pop-up pump, but initially gave him this huge reaction, but I realized it was in Madison Square Garden. Where he came out, I think it was a Survivor Series, he came out, and it was in Madison Square Garden, and the crowd went apeshit for him, and give me the fucking mic, if any of you remember that. But then at the Royal Rumble, Triple H was getting cheered and Scott Steiner was being booed. And it was more so like, wait a minute, Triple H is our guy. Scott Steiner's, he's an outsider. We don't like him. So Triple H got the cheers and Scott Steiner got the boos. And I was afraid it was going to be like that for Sting, but from what I can tell so far, I don't think so. What bugged me is if they wanted to keep Triple H heel, you got to understand, the crowd loves Triple H. I mean, they love him. Even if they boo him and stuff like that, they're booing the character. They're not booing the man. The man's awesome. He's putting new life into this WWE thing that we all love so much. But when Sting caught Stephanie's hand and Triple H came out, the crowd was like, oh yeah. I mean, they may have been cheering because like this is going to be good, but it to me seemed like, okay, well, maybe they're cheering for Triple H. I don't know. But then Triple H pulled out the sledgehammer. Stephanie did, or I don't remember who did. But Triple H pulled out the sledgehammer, and that got a big pop. And then Sting pulled out the bat. That got a bigger pop. And I'm like, okay, they're for Sting. Everybody's for Sting. Everybody's for Sting. Everybody calm down. Everybody's for Sting. That's cool. So, that was my big concern about the whole Sting thing, is it's been too long. I understand he was in TNA, but nobody watches TNA. So, I mean, Sting's always been the man, and it's unfortunate that we're only going to get a couple years out of him, but I wish we'd got him 14 years ago so we could have had some matches between him and just, God, could you imagine? Him and The Rock, him and Shawn Michaels, him and The Undertaker. We'll probably still get The Undertaker next year. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that the big payoff to bringing him in would be for next year. So moving on from last night, let's see. We got Dean Ambrose and R-Truth versus Stardust and Luke Harper. Here's the thing. I respect what they're doing with the Intercontinental title. I think it's great. I'm a huge Intercontinental title fan. The current belt that's being used, I mark over, okay? I love the fact that it's that belt as opposed to any of the other belts they've used since that belt, in between that belt. They used for like 10 years. They used a different type of belt. It was kind of unfortunate. But I just kind of feel like there's too much. There's too much. I understand there's like 8 people in the match or what. I don't know how many people are in the match. I think it's like 8. Maybe it's 7. I don't know. But there's too many people in this damn match. and they're doing too many things with it. It's really confusing. It's harder for the younger fans to follow. It's really harder for the younger fans to follow and to get into, because they're just like, oh, Dean Ambrose, yay. Oh, Dolph Ziggler, yay. Oh, Daniel Bryan, yay. And they don't really know who to cheer for. There's really no clear-cut winner, which brings me to the Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler match. Okay, Dolph Ziggler beat him on SmackDown, pinned him. I mean, I understand that Daniel Bryan was in another match previous to that because it was a gauntlet. Hold on one sec. I'm sorry about this. Okay, so I figured on Monday, last night, that Daniel Bryan would be the one that won. And it didn't happen. Dolph Ziggler pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And everybody's predicting Daniel Bryan's going to win the Intercontinental title. I don't see it. I see Dolph Ziggler is winning. I mean, I get that Daniel Bryan is not, he's not the Hulk Hogan, the John Cena, the Shawn, he's not, he can't even pass because he's good looking, I mean, Shawn Michaels and pass because he was an incredible wrestler. It's my favorite of all time. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that he looked the way he did, helped. It's like, oh, we can market this guy, no problem. We can market Bret Hart, we can market John Cena, we can market these guys because of the way they look, whether they're talented or not, which Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels are. And you know what? John Cena's talented too. You got to give the devil his due. He is very talented. He's a great man behind the scenes. He's a great man in the ring. Okay, that being said, are they really trying to kill Daniel Bryan? I mean, is that what's happening? Because now, they had him at the WWE title level facing Roman Reigns at Fastlane. At Fastlane, the winner faces Brock Lesnar or whatever. Now, we understand that Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar is a huge mismatch, and it would take a lot to believe that Daniel Bryan could possibly beat a Brock Lesnar. The way that they've built Brock Lesnar up since he got back, is this incredible beast, and he is just phenomenal and stuff like that. And he is. It's very legitimate, very believable. Okay, it's very believable. But that being said, Daniel Bryan is not going to beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, I understand that Daniel Bryan's a great wrestler, but Brock Lesnar's a great wrestler, and he's a great legitimate fighter. I mean, He's also 2 times the size of Daniel Bryan. What can Daniel Bryan possibly do to beat Brock Lesnar? I don't see it. Now, as far as the Intercontinental finishing off here, I guess it's got to be Dolph Ziggler that's going to win. It has to be at this point. I understand that they could possibly let Daniel Bryan win and have an incredible feud between him and Dolph Ziggler. That could elevate both of their careers, I understand. Here's the thing, okay? The future, everybody's like, oh, Dolph Ziggler's the future. Daniel Bryan's the future. But Dolph Ziggler is a month younger than me. I'm 34 years old, okay? Or he's a month older than me. Daniel Bryan is, I think he's 33. I mean, just because they're newer to the WWE, I guess they're not even newer. They've been here like 5 years. I don't know. I just get tired of people saying the future, the future, the future. Dude, look what's right now, okay? Forget about the future. Stop cheering for people because you think that they're going to be the future. Look what happened to Roman Reigns. You started going crazy for him, and oh my God, bro, Roman Reigns, oh my God. And then once he started getting the title, everybody started booing him. Okay? Live in the now. That's all I'm saying. I got off on a tangent there. All right, enough of the Intercontinental stuff. The point that I was trying to make with that is I think they're doing too much, and it's really confusing to a lot of younger people. For older fans like me and stuff, it's like, okay, I get it, It's going to be a great match. I mean, let's face it, it's going to be a great match. Let's see here. I'm going through the, oh, God, The Miz. Okay. To me, it doesn't people just don't like The Miz as a person, as a character, nothing. They boo him because they hate him, and not in a good way. They don't hate him. They don't boo him because they're supposed to. They boo him because they do not like the human being Mike Mizanin, okay, or whatever dude's name is. They do not like him. He gets genuine, they call it X-Pac heat, where the people just really don't like, they just don't like you, okay? And people cheered for X-Pac. They do not like The Miz, period. That's why Damian Sandow's getting over. Why would Damian Sandow get over otherwise? They could have put me in that position of his stunt double, or they could have put Good God, they could have put anybody. They could have put X-Pac in the spot of that stunt double, and I promise you, X-Pac, anybody. You know, Vince McMahon says I could have put anybody to play Hogan and Hulkamania. They could have done that with the Mizdow. Anybody, I mean, that's a huge different comparison. But the point is, they could have put anybody in that position and they would have cheered. And Mizdow just happened to get lucky. Adam Rose, at first I was like, okay, this guy's cool. I like Adam Rose, you know. He's got the long hair. He looks cool, you know. And then the party thing, I was like, okay, I get it. It's like sort of a PG type rave. Okay, that's cool. I could deal with that. And then now, I guess, since Santino retired, he's taken Santino's place as like the joke. But he's not really that funny, is he? I mean, he's got an English accent. Not that that's not funny, but just, you know, Santino was funny because he had that weird Italian accent. So I don't know. The Ascension. I'm glad that experiment's over. Now, Ryback confuses me. Well, not necessarily Ryback, but the crowd confuses me. It's like they like him at a certain level. They don't want him to go higher than that level, but if he's right here, he's fine. We can cheer for him. But if he goes higher than that, oh, no. Boo. Okay? So he's one of those people that gets to this point and that's it, you know? That's my opinion on him and my opinion on The Miz. So I'm just saying. What an anticlimactic thing from Bill Simmons and JBL. They talked all this trash and then Bill Simmons sits next to him and then JBL's like, oh, I'm just a great friend, you know, I'm a great fan and you do great on all that. And it's very anticlimactic. I thought something was going to happen. What the hell was that? That was kind of a bummer. Let's see. Primetime players are back. They better do something. A lot of people like those primetime players. I'm not necessarily a big fan. I just don't like Titus O'Neil. I think Darren Young is awesome. I'm just not a big Titus O'Neil fan. Come on. You know, do something different. And that goes along the same lines of with Roman Reigns doing the Believe That. That's so dumb. Oh my God. You know, I'm going to get into this right now. Okay. I'm a huge Samoan fan. I love Haku. I mean, Haku's my favorite, but I mean, Yokozuna, The Rock, I mean, the Head Shrinker, Samu, Fatu, Afa Sika, those are the only ones that, I wasn't really alive to see the Afa Sika matches, but, you know, all the other Samoans that came through and everything, I've just been a huge fan. I've always loved the Samoans. The Usos, Roman Reigns, I mean, I love them. If you're going to be a legitimate badass, do not use a cheesy line as Believe That. You cannot say that with intensity, my brother. You cannot say that with intensity. There is no way to be intense saying Believe That. Let me try. Believe That. That's so dumb. That doesn't even work. Why try? Why try? What is that? Roman Reigns is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Roman Reigns. I think he's awesome. I think he's got a great look. He's going to be in that top spot if Brock doesn't sign that contract. But, I don't do the Believe That. Everything else, good. I mean, work on your mic skills a little bit. It'll come for you. I promise. Even The Rock, when he first started, his mic skills were kind of, and then he grew into what he grew into. And others have done that too. Shawn Michaels wasn't always a big guy on the mic. He wasn't always that good. Now, but you're not going to get somebody like Roddy Piper or Bobby Heenan often. So, you know, you'll grow on the mic. Don't worry about drop the Believe That. I don't know how many more times to tell you. Drop the Believe That. You cannot say it with intensity. I will not believe that. Dude, I swear to God, they're going to start making merchandise. I know they're going to start making merchandise. Okay, that being said, let's move on. Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins, Joey Mercury, and Jamie Noble. Okay, that went where I thought it would go. I mean, everything happened in that match. There was nothing really unpredictable. I mean, Seth Rollins was going to put in the security and, you know, he wasn't going to do much. He was going to back up every time Orton got near and so on and so forth. They're saving it for WrestleMania. I get that. Okay. Fair enough. Moving on. By the way, Randy Orton has always been intense and awesome and everything like that. And I think Seth Rollins is too. I hope they don't limit him. I hope they don't limit him. Let's see. The announcers played. Okay. We see footage from Michael Cole's interview with John Cena last week. We see Paige backstage getting ready. What are they doing with them? What are they doing with Paige and AJ Lee? I mean, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. You know, I've always wanted the Divas division to do good because I have a very close friend who is a wrestler independently. Her name is Christina Von Eerie. She's a great woman. She's a long-time friend. I've known her since she was a teenager, and I was too. I'd like for her to get signed. She could play the part of AJ or Paige or something like that, you know, just a little more intensity. But I don't know what they're trying to do with those two. I don't think I care. Just let them both do their thing. Let them both wrestle. We don't need drama. Just let them wrestle because they're good. Which takes me to the Paige versus Nikki Bella match. Usually, you know, it's always been a long-standing joke of, you know, during the Divas matches and the women's matches and stuff, you get up and go to the bathroom, get yourself something to eat, come back just in time to see the men wrestle. I mean, which is odd, which has always bugged me and made me feel really odd because, I mean, let's face it, the pro wrestling fan base mostly consists of virgins, okay? Mostly. So why would you not want to watch women wrestling around? But that always confused me. Like I was the same way. As a teenager, I was like, oh shit, women are. But back as a teenager, we had Alundra Blaze, so we were lucky. But like if I was a teenager and I'd have seen, you know, like when like Deborah would come out or Sable would come out. I understand how over Sable was, but she wasn't that good. Now she grew into something amazing, but she wasn't that good then. It was just like, okay, get up, go to the bathroom. But I'm still a virgin. It just didn't work. But last night, Paige versus Nikki Bella, I was so impressed. My God, was I impressed. Oh, I wish that match wouldn't have ended the way it did. I wish that would have just played on and went. That could have been a classic. I know that's weird hearing that about a Bella, but it could have been a classic, man. That match was headed for greatness, and they killed it right away. I don't think they expected the crowd to react like that. I don't think they expected it to go over like that, but it did. And I even sent a tweet to the Bellas saying I'm really impressed. So that match, you know, it was pretty damn impressive, and I was really impressed. I was thoroughly impressed. I thought it was a great match, and I was very happy to watch that match. And I had to pee, so I had to wait till the next match to go pee, which was, it was commercial. That's when I went pee. The AJ comes in, Paige tackles her, they start brawling because AJ clocked her, you know, which looked really stiff. That looked really painful, actually. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Again, I don't understand the Paige AJ Lee thing. Paige AJ Lee? Okay, Snoop Dogg comes out, and, you know, Snoop Dogg's he's old school, he's veteran, rapper, so he gets the initial pop of respect. You know, the pop of respect is what I like to call that. Is you've been doing so much, you've done so much for so many years that, okay, you're coming out, let me give you that. But after that, you're done. And actually, you know what, to be honest with you, it worked. It actually worked for a long time, and then but good God. Curtis Axel comes out, which, by the way, I was a huge fan of his dad, and I wish Curtis Axel was a lot like his dad, but he wasn't, and he's not. No charisma. He comes out, and I'm getting really tired of the Axelmania thing, even though it's only been like a month. I'm tired of it already. It's like, good God. Unexpectedly, Hulk Hogan comes out. I was like, okay, let's sit up, because I'm laying down on the couch watching. Sit up. Let me sit up and see what's going to happen here. And he comes out, and it was just basically Hogan smashes him. He just pop. That was it. I mean, that was just it. You know. Let's see. Cesaro, Tyson Kidd versus, okay, how many times do you have to see that crap? Dude, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, I'm over anything they do. I don't care. I don't want to see it. I'm bored. Anytime they're on the screen, I'm bored. Straight up, I'm bored. I don't like Tyson Kidd. The dude could probably kick my ass. I'm gonna say that right off the bat, but I wanna poke him in the eye, dude. I wanna, I don't know. I'm not a violent person, but like, I wanna poke him in the eye. I just don't like him. He bugs me. His look, his face bugs me. How he got Natalya, well, I guess I know how he got her. You know, you grow up along the, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Cesaro, he had me when he had Paul Heyman. I was like, okay, because he was good. Like, he was strong. He would do things that were just like, wow, the spin. I love that. What was that called? The spin, whatever the spin is. A great fun. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, he had me. And then this, I just do not like, I just don't like it. I can't stand it. It feels, anytime Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are on, I feel whatever they're doing is overplayed, even if it's new challengers. I mean, I don't know. So the Bad News Barrett Kane thing, that was a little odd, but I get it, I guess, where Kane had to take the title to put it above the ring, and I can strip you of your title. Yeah, I mean, okay. Rusev versus Jack Swagger, that went the exact way that I thought it did. It just went the exact way that I thought it would. Jack Swagger is a very talented wrestler, but he has that lisp, and I don't like that lisp. I don't like that. I don't like Cody's lisp. I don't like Dusty Rhodes' lisp. I don't like Jack Swagger's lisp, okay? I don't like lisps. I just don't. Maybe that's just me. But that match went exactly the way that I thought it would. I mean, Rusev destroyed him. Now, here's the thing. I thought Hulk Hogan was going to come out. I had a feeling Hulk Hogan was going to come out to save him. But then I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. He's got this whole thing going with John Cena. And he destroys John Cena. Now, here's what I'm thinking about this. This is what I'm thinking is, if they can't get people to cheer for John Cena against Rusev, with John Cena representing the United States of America, and Rusev a bad heel. A good bad heel. How do I put this? He's a over heel. We'll put it that way. He's a good heel. But he's a bad guy. You know, he's a bad guy. And he's representing Russia. Now, if people at WrestleMania cheer for Rusev over John Cena, then you know there is no way you are ever going to get John Cena over. So, and I've always said to people, they're never going to turn John Cena heel. Don't even say it. Even if there's hints of it, don't even say it. But I'm thinking that it's going to happen. I'm thinking it's going to happen. If they can't get people to cheer for John Cena, I don't know. Maybe he's still selling a ton of merchandise. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, but he destroyed John Cena. Like, he knocked him down. I mean, we all know John Cena is going to win. John Cena has to win. That's the ultimate payoff to this whole thing. John Cena has to win. So, I mean, that's what it goes for. That's what it's happening. Let's see. Oh, for those of you wondering, 503 Liquid. SmokelessSmoking.com. That's where I get it. Now, check this out. The Bray Wyatt promo. I have never seen anything like that in my life. I was floored. I couldn't believe what was coming out of his mouth. I was like, this is good. This is super good. I mean, that was good. I have a house full of pro wrestling haters. My kids and my wife, they hate pro wrestling. They it's so dumb, My kids are kids. They're, I have a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they just do not like wrestling. They try. Believe me, they try just to be closer to Dad, but they just don't like it. And even my wife was watching. She was like, wow. And it was intense. That Bray Wyatt took his promos to another level last night. He took his promos to another level. And from what I gather, he's writing all his own shit. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty damn impressive if you ask me. And I'm glad The Undertaker didn't come out and start talking, because Bray Wyatt would have eaten him alive. No disrespect to The Undertaker. But The Undertaker's not exactly been the number one guy for promos. But Bray Wyatt, man, I'm so impressed with him. So impressed. Kevin Nash's Hall of Fame. I posted a video saying Diesel's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, or Kevin Nash getting inducted as Diesel. I think I'm wrong. I think it's Kevin Nash. They keep saying, I don't know. So I think they may have just let Kevin Nash get inducted. I don't know. Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler. We talked about that. Great match. And I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, wait a minute. Brock Lesnar versus Paul Heyman. Here's the thing, okay, I've always respected Paul Heyman, more than respected. I've idolized this guy. I think he's a phenomenal brain and a phenomenal talker and can put words together in seconds that really normal people can't come up with. Well, last night was the first time where I'm just like, like kind of, wait a minute here. Because he did that whole blah, 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 blah thing at the beginning, and he's like, what could I possibly say that hasn't sold, or that could sell you on this pay-per-view if I haven't said it yet? Okay. That being said, if you're gonna say, and you're gonna go on for 7 minutes in a promo, why would you start off with blah, 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 blah? Okay? There was nothing in those blah, blah, blahs. You were just saying it to push forward a different point. But I shouldn't be telling you how to tell a promo because I've never done it. You've done it for years. So I have no room to talk. I'm just saying, as a fan, that didn't grasp me. That didn't grasp me like the rest of Paul Heyman stuff that he does. And, there was one funny moment where Paul Heyman started saying, you might as well go and take my kids and name them Roman Reigns and break into my house, put the title in your name, whatever it was, take my wife or whatever. Brock's just looking at him like, you could see that there was kind of a trust there. Like Brock's like, okay, I've known you a long time. I assume you're going to go somewhere good with this. And then there was the payoff and Brock was like, okay, I get it. Okay. But, I didn't hear a whole lot of UFC talk in that. None, actually. I didn't hear any UFC talk. So it leads me to believe that only 3 people know that Brock has re-signed, okay? Vince, Brock, and Paul. And they are all sworn to secrecy, which leads me to believe that Brock Lesnar will come out of WrestleMania as the champion, okay? And because Seth Rollins will beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins could possibly cash in against Brock Lesnar and lose, proving more so how much of a beast Brock Lesnar is. I'm just saying, that could happen. Now, at the end of all that, where Roman Reigns comes down and the crowd just booed the shit out of him, and it's like, dang it, man, I was really hoping he would get over. They did a little cat fight or tug of war with the title. Now, that was more, a lot of people were like, what the hell was that? Here's what that was, okay? That's basically WWE's way of saying Brock Lesnar is going to be a good guy after WrestleMania. And during WrestleMania, he's going to put Roman Reigns over by way of handshake, whether he wins or loses. Brock Lesnar will shake his hand. And he needs that because everybody knows that the crowd is on Brock Lesnar's side. And they're going to be on Brock Lesnar's side at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar is going to have probably 99% of the crowd. Okay? And the people that are going to be cheering for Roman Reigns are probably not even going to be the kids. They're going to be the women. They're going to be the wives that are forced to be there with their husbands, which I'm trying to force my wife to go with me because it's 138 miles up the road, where WrestleMania will be held. But, so it's going to be the wives that are there, because let's face it, Roman Reigns is a good-looking dude. I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, I suppose you could, but he is what he is. I mean, let's face it. I'm secure enough to where I can let my wife watch him and be, and my wife's gorgeous. She's like gorgeous. And I'm like okay with her watching him and be like, oh, I like his hair, I like his eyes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. I'm better looking. But that being said, Brock Lesnar's going to have to put over Roman Reigns, just like Daniel Bryan had to put over Roman Reigns when he won. Okay, the crowd's all for Daniel Bryan in that match, over Roman Reigns. Although Roman Reigns put on a hell of a match at Fastlane, Daniel Bryan still put him over because they're trying to put over Roman Reigns. Okay, it's like if Daniel Bryan says he's cool, that guy must be cool. Okay? If Brock Lesnar says that guy's cool, he must be cool. So, they're gonna have to, I'm pretty sure Brock's gonna win. I'm almost positive Brock's gonna win. So they're gonna have to really, I suppose Roman Reigns could win, I don't know. But whatever's gonna happen, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a handshake at the end. And there's gonna be Brock Lesnar putting him over. And if WWE were smart, they would keep Roman Reigns off TV the next night, okay? They wouldn't even show him. They'd rarely talk about him because that crowd is going to eat Roman Reigns alive in San Jose, Okay? Every year after WrestleMania, they have the Raw after WrestleMania. Now, what that is, the reason those shows are so special is because those are the diehard fans that have stayed over and bought tickets to WrestleMania, and they bought tickets to Raw the next night. So you're not just going to get a basic San Jose local crowd, just like you didn't get a basic Miami crowd, or you didn't get a basic, I don't remember what last year's was, but you didn't get a basic, all that stuff. You're going to get a crowd that's from around the world. You know what I mean? It's going to be a crowd that's from around the world, and so it's going to be a very lively crowd, and they're going to voice their opinion. They need to keep Roman Reigns off TV the next night, especially if he wins the title, because that's going to set the tone for his entire career. It did for John Cena, okay? It's going to set the tone for his entire career. And you have to believe me, if WWE or anybody sees this, the fans do not want another good guy for another 12 years it's forced down their throats like John Cena was. I didn't feel like John Cena was forced, but I thought John Cena was always good. I always liked John Cena. But then again, I'm a classic old school wrestling guy, and he's a classic old school wrestler, entertainer. So that being said, they need to keep him off TV the next night, you know, unless they turn him heel. Unless unless they do a double switch where Brock Lesnar shakes his hand and Roman Reigns just beats the hell out of him and stuff, then bring him on Raw the next night. But if they don't do that, then, you know, I mean, I could see a double switch happening right there with the crowd being mainly, I mean, just actually unanimously on Brock Lesnar's side at WrestleMania and against Roman Reigns. I could see a double switch happening there at the end. Brock Lesnar's like, okay, I beat you, but here's a handshake. Okay, good. Turn around, walk away, big Samoan hit, you know, Superman punch or whatever. Oh my God, Roman Reigns turned heel, blah, blah, blah. And the next night he comes out and drops the believe that because that's dumb. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could happen. I was thinking about doing a WrestleMania prediction thing, but everybody does it. I don't want to do that. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you paying attention, and I hope you subscribe. So, yeah, no, leave me alone.